Welcome back to the table. Boy, did I get myself in a conundrum here. Um, I know everybody has different backgrounds on role-playing games, and uh, I've played some D&D Fifth Edition. Before that, I just tinily dabbled in D&D Second Edition. Um, Most of my RPG experience is actually through computer games. Now, granted, it would be like D&D games, like I'm drawing a blank. Temple of Elemental Evil was one of them, and oh gosh, there's a whole bunch more that came out during that time period. I played a lot of them. I didn't play them all, and then of course I played Ultima, Might and Magic, Wizardry. In fact, I covered Wizardry on this channel. I even loved the Hero Quest series, which was done by the people who did King's Quest. What company was that? They were more like a text adventure game, but the Hero Quest game was really good. Hero Quest 2 sort of stunk, just because of the maze element to it, but even that was decent. And then of course there was 3, 4, and I don't even think I played the fifth one. Um, okay, where am I going with all this? What I love about some of the old school RPGs, and when I say that I'm talking computer games, is they would be open-ended worlds, and you could like open a door or enter a area, and you'd be like, "Holy crap! I was not meant to be here yet." This is one of those moments. This is absolutely one of those moments. And thanks to a viewer who pointed this out to me, this, of course, I put all the cubes on this. If you flip it over right here, it's a level 8 creature. And just a reminder, folks, we're level 3. So this thing's 5 full levels above us. Now, I look at the situation. The hardened points just means you can't, like, slice through them. And, normally you could hit bing, 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 but the hardened point means you hit bing, bing, and then you have to stop. But with the number of hit points and stuff on here, I think I could still have a field day where I could start here and then just slice to there, or start here and go bing, bing, bing to there. The only thing that would be an issue here is I would have to bing down to get to this one, or like this one's a tough one because you gotta bing to this one, and then you gotta bing again to that one, or bing up. The key thing though is it's doable. I absolutely think I could do a lot of damage to this guy. The problem is I don't think I can kill it. And here's why. First of all, every one of these causes 2 damage to whoever hits it. Now granted, when you remove the shield, that does not cause you 2 damage. You only take the 2 damage when you put the actual damage marker there. But that's 2, 4, 6, 8, that's 10 health. I have to distribute amongst my characters. And the character with the most health is the cleric, who has 7. So 10 health is definitely a lot of health points. The other issue is, besides that, I think I will actually do a lot of damage, and I probably would get to the point where I'd start doing real damage to him. But the fact that I got to absorb 10 health here, that's definitely a problem. The other problem is this. He's a boss and a mob, which means, and you can see that here, so it means he's going to be activating a lot. Now, when he's activating a lot, chances are he's going to be activating with the 0 aggro instead of the 2. And that's fine, but if you look at the 0 aggro, it's a shred attack. A shred attack does 5 damage. Of course, I have armor on some of my guys, but 5 damage, I'm going to at most be able to absorb 2 of it. And we got attacked by the boars, which definitely didn't help because I have orange markers all over all my armor. And so some of that armor is already shot or can only absorb 1 more time. The point being is, at minimum, I'm taking 3 damage every time this thing attacks me. And I can't block anything more. Like, it's minimum 3, it's possibly 5. 5 damage outright kills, or KOs, 1, 2, 3 of my characters. Only the cleric can take a 5 damage hit. So that's why I can't defeat this thing. He's really going to he's literally going to shred us. And then, to make matters worse, the healing inhibitor means all of our healing effects are halved, round down. So my healing potion that heals 1 health, I don't even get the 1 health. I have to round it down. And then over here, you have to pass an endurance 20 check, or you have to flee. Now, this is what I was talking about. This type of stuff here, this is why my characters need to have more diversity in their skills. Instead of constantly just taking this skill and then that skill, I should have like an endurance of at least 4 or 5, right? So I'm at least helping my cause. So, if it was a video game, I would still fight it. I mean, even now I'm like, I'd like to try, but I honestly don't think I'm going to be able to pull this off. Now, per the rules, in order to flee, you have to go to a hex, an escape hex, which I wasn't sure. I was going off of my memory when I was reading the rule book. I thought it was maybe these letters that we start in, but it's not. It's actually right here. It says hex, and then it like points to off the map. You have to go somewhere off the map, and then do I have to pass a check? I think it's automatic, and the whole party gets to flee. It's not a very punitive flee mechanic, which I'm grateful for. Because if the designer is going to throw in a level 8 guy, I mean, this is the identical situation to that halfling that wanted to arm wrestle me. You're like, yeah, sure, I'll bet 10, and hope that you can use all your skills to boost your die roll, and then you find out you got to roll a 30, which is like impossible at our current level. That's what this situation is. So, flee, exiles fleeing combat, page 33. On the exile's turn, you must be adjacent to a hex pointer that leads to the world map, or stairs, etc. Only one exile needs to take the action. We draw event 333. So that's the issue. We gotta draw event 333. There's also an event if we all get KO'd. I don't want that to happen. Alright, so I gotta decide, okay, who's going first. Normally it's the rogue now, because we can hide and lay our traps. So we're going to go ahead and say that it's the rogue, and then we draw, and you can see he's going. And it's a boss, so they're going to move 5 and shred, and they're going to do whoever's the furthest away. That's 6. They're both 6. So then I have it go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to shred. Oh, that's the other thing. He hits everybody. So he's hitting both of them with the shred 5. And so he's hitting the head. So for the cleric, the head, actually, the armor for the head is, I'm grabbing some orange cubes here. The head absorbs 2. And then he takes 1, 2, 3 damage. And then for the mage, it's KO'd completely. Just like that. 1 hit. Bam. Oh, that's not a mage. I apologize. It's the this one, and he does have head armor. So this blocks 2, and then he takes 1, 2, 3 health. Almost dead. 1 more hit and he will be. That's why I can't kill him, folks. I mean, I do think I could damage him. There's no reason I can't. I mean, he doesn't have anything super... the hard points makes it a little trickier. But, so yeah, now I'm going to go, and I'm going to go 1, 2, and then I'm at the hex, so I'm going to flee. Alright, and we have to draw event 333, which I'm not familiar with at all, because we've never fled anything before. But that's what I get for saying fight. I take some more damage. I hope this is not too painful of a thing to do. So it tells you what you need to do. Did you flee combat? The answer is yes. You gather yourself and escape the convict. Add THR 333 to the threat deck and flip this card. Ugh, THR 333? I wonder if that's one that we eventually... I don't see a THR 333. Oh, I found one. It was before the 45. It was in a weird spot. You remember your cowardice fleeing a previous battle. And then trash this card and draw again. Or discard. Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, I didn't need that. But that's actually really cool. I was expecting it to punish me. Alright, so we do flee. We will see you again, my nemesis. Look, nobody likes having a party wipe whenever you enter a new area or whatever. It's definitely one of those situations where, yeah, it's not fun, but like anybody who's played any video games of any kind, they're familiar with this experience, and I do find it interesting, and I admire that's here. I never in my wildest dreams thought that something that was going... Now, the thing is when you talk to the people, they said avoid the grass. So they warned you. Like, the designer warned you that this thing was not to be trifled with. It's just that, I'm level 3, thinking that I'm starting to be king of the world, and no, you're not. So anyways, we do that, but we're not done. We had to flip this over. Remove foes. Area's not clear. We're now out of combat. And then this card goes to B. And then it gets re-indexed. Ooh, I didn't even realize there was a B version of this. That is interesting too. Or as well, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to put this back into the inactive section. I don't see any other three... Well, that's right. The B ones, they like to put those elsewhere. Like the A's end and then the B's start. I do not see a 333B. I'll let you look at what I'm looking at. So 333 is this one. It says, finally, this card goes to B, and then re-index it, right? So this is 340, and you can see A, 315A. This is where the 333 resides. So I put that in to show that I've already used it. So then I'm looking for 333B, and it goes, 350, 370, 387, and it's all A's, all the way to the bitter end. It's an A card. There is no B event card in the entire event deck. So, I don't know what it's asking me to do. So let me pause and see what Mr. Internet says. Okay, I had a brain fart moment, I guess. So, but I am glad I did look up on the internet this particular event, because there is an errata that I discovered, and that is the threat card that we drew. This one. See, it says that after you use it, it's banished. That's what this symbol is here. That means it's out of the game. And Cody, the designer, said that it was supposed to be re-indexed. So apparently, here's what happens. We fleed, and I was looking here in the events, and there's actually an inactive events. So here's 333B. 333B. And there's even a 333C. So if you flee a lot, you're going to cycle through these cards. And after you go to 333C, it goes back to 333A. I know this because I just had to read it all on the internet. So we're at 333B now, which is fine, and I'm not supposed to necessarily read it. But every time you do 333A, you get that threat card added to your thing. So if you cycle through all three of them, come back to A, it's going to tell you to add a card to the threat deck that was supposed to be banished according to the card, and that's where the mistake is. So that card is supposed to be re-indexed after you use it, the threat card, because you're going to cycle through these three flea cards for the entire game. So I don't know what B and C does differently than A, but I'm just letting you know he's got like a cycle. And it's sort of similar to the day cycle here, right? We're going through the same day cycles over and over again as well. So that's pretty cool. This is considered to be an unexplored area. Totally understand that. What that also means is the travel card is going to stay, and next time we experience it, until we're close to level 8, I think we're going to flee. I don't know about you, but I think that's a good plan. And yeah, I've been just trying to get to my turn. He attacked me so viciously that I was near dead. So I made the right call. I wanted to try it, but there's no way. So anyways, we got this concept of hard points unlocked, even though we never actually got to, actually use it. Put all this away. We are on the main map. Forgive me, I'm just trying to put this map away. Now, I had this set aside, Big 2. This is where the glaciers are, but with how much damage we just received, and using all the healing potions and all that jazz, I am not sure I should do it. Because we did our travel, if you recall, and now we're here at the Green Deeps, and that's where the Big 2 map is. We've explored this one. We haven't explored these two. I'm at a point now where I gotta get out of here. So we're gonna go do another grass, and let's go get to a place where we could rest. So this one is the, I don't know what you call that, the pouch. So we'll go ahead and flip over the pouch, and then we're gonna go ahead and travel the road. And the road is smooth sailing. And here we are. We're at Eastgate. So we have a quest that we can hand in. Gives us 3 money. And I shall take it. I'm going to actually take 2 from my people. Hand all that in so I can get a 5 instead. Alright, so we did that. And then, because of the rogue, I have that skill where I'm going to roll for charisma. Ooh, I rolled a 16. The charisma bonus is 4. That gets me to 20. A 20 gives me a +2 money. Yeah, so we're going to take 2 more bucks. We're going to spend those 2 bucks, but for now, we'll take it. And then this job is done. And then we banish the card. So I don't know, like maybe I should be exploring or other things, but and we are exploring actually. But from my perspective, doing these jobs is a nice. This is exactly what I would do in a video game. I would totally not be pursuing the main quest line. I'd be doing all the side quests, getting all the experience points and bonus items I can get. I mean, it's the way. If you play RPG games, this is how you play. You're methodical. You know, every time you're in a dungeon, you always turn right, or you always turn left, and then once it's all explored, then you go back and go the other way. And of course, designers know that, so they make it so if you always turn right, that the worst things happen to you. It's a constant battle with these dungeon makers. Okay, so we are in the outer market, which is this card. So right now at this point, the only thing I wish, even though it's more maintenance, I sort of wish I had all 6 characters. especially now that I'm getting comfortable playing the game. Like I really do want to feel what the bard's like. I want to, that Valor guy as well. Although I did read on BGG when I took my pause, people are complaining about the Valor guy because he's supposed to be this tanky fighter, but he doesn't do much. And I agree. That's why I didn't pick him. He looks like a whiz. Um, I think the problem that the designer had with this game, and it's one of my gripes with the game. It's not a major one, but each character is designed to do equally as well because this is not a party-based game. Yes, we have four characters and they're all working together to kill this monster. So you could argue it's party-based from that perspective, but they're basically four characters each playing solitaire together. And a lot of board games do that, and they can be fun. But from an RPG perspective, the part where the designer missed the mark is that these guys are not working as a party. And all I mean, and I've explained this before, is like, yeah, our mage had one hit point, but our mage is just as easy. Like, there's no concept of a front line that protects the mage. So if those boars wanted to get to my mage, they would have to go through me first. And some games do things like the taunt, where, you know, hey, you must come at me, and so they let you have independent characters on the board, but the fighter can do something like a taunt, which then at least makes it so they won't attack the mage. I mean, it's an okay way to resolve it. But if you're talking old school RPG, you have these concepts of front line and back line, and you would put your cleric and your mage in the back line, and either a bard or even possibly a rogue who has a short bow or a dagger, throwing dagger. You put them in the back line, and then in the front line you have your fighter, your barbarian, your paladin, and those are the guys that have the armor and the whatnot. And so sometimes even the guys up front, they do the damage, or you're casting fireball from the back. And that's the whole point of RPGs, is that they're working together. The cleric is busy healing everybody, while the fighters are busy taking the hits, and the mage is busy, hitting them, and then the rogue is doing some kind of sneak stabby, or at the very minimum, you're babying the rogue because his only role in the party is to open that treasure chest after it's all over. It all depends on, like, every RPG has a different style, but the point though is that it's a party-based game. And so if you made a party of nothing but mages, they would do horrible, or you would have a real hard time. I mean, there's people out there who do it, and they put it on YouTube, and it's pretty impressive. But the point is that a mage by itself is not all that tough. But this game, the mage is just as damaging as any of the other characters. It has a few less hit points than my cleric, but that's because I chose a Fey mage. I could have chosen a Dwarven one, and he would have had just as many hit points. Like, the mage could have 7 hit points if I wanted it to. It just wouldn't have as many mana points. So the point I'm getting at here is all these characters were designed to be the same, and that makes it blah. I got this Elder Scrolls game coming from Chip Theory. The Elder Scrolls video game was not that much fun to me. I enjoyed it for a while, but the issue with it was every character started off the same and then you branched. And I actually like how Warcraft has a specific class and Diablo has specific classes. I think those can be more fun because the designer can do more than, instead of making just generic people that can get bow skills versus this other generic person gets a mate. Anyways, I can go on and on. So the Valor class is not getting a lot of love on BGG, at least by a few people. And I'm sitting there like, I could have told you that. The Valor class did not look impressive at all. The only one that I'm really missing is possibly the Bard, because it looked like the Bard had some cool stuff. But anyways, enough of the digression. So we got to fill all of our knapsacks, for one. We got to rest, for one. That's 2. We got to fill all of our potions, for 1. That's 3. And then we got the smithy, which will repair 9, for 4. Yeah, I made a lot of money and I'm spending a lot of money, so I'm gonna spend 4 right now and do all those things. I have to. It's we had a lot of crazy battles, so I'm gonna try to do a lot of this without moving the camera, but you can at least see what I'm doing with these. So everybody is at least going full because we're doing all these things at once. I'm gonna refill everything. So like that refills, the knapsacks refill. Whoops. So the potions refill. The kit refills. All the stats, stamina, mana, etc. will refill. And then last but not least, get to take 9 of these off. So this is 4 of them from the cleric, 5, 6. There's only 8 of them, but man, we almost needed to do it again. So we had 8 of those markers. So we got everything healed. And at this point, money-wise, I have 5, 10, 15, and then if you count all those little itty-bitty ones, I'm at least at 20-something. So I'm okay with my money, and I'm okay with the fact that we just did a job that gave us $5 and I spent 4 of it. It's just how it works. If anything, the job paid for what we just experienced. So with all the nostalgia and memory lane stuff, I know folks want to just see the game get played, and I apologize for that. So let's keep going here. Welcome Breeze brings warm scent of flowers. You feel invigorated. First time this is drawn, add travel 51 to the bottom of the travel discard pile. And if the day deck is empty, add day 6 and then start again at day 1. And we will do that. So I already forgot the number. It was travel 55, I believe. 51. Okay, where's the travel? Okay, 51 added. It's the Wanderer. So another NPC. Very interesting. I'm going to add him to the bottom of the discard and shuffle everything else, because I'm assuming the shuffle happened before I add him. I probably should do some research on BGG. Like, what is the timing of this? I don't mind doing it the way I'm doing it, because with it being on the discard pile, it just means that this new card is not in current shuffle. So I have to like rest again before it gets shuffled in. And that makes sense to me because it demonstrates a passing of time. So this new card doesn't just get suddenly become the next card you draw. It just gets, trickled in. I like that concept. So even if I'm doing it wrong, I like the way I'm doing it wrong. Alright, so then I gotta get day 6. Now these day cards do eventually run out, meaning that you're gonna cycle back to day 1, but that's not happening yet. And so here we go. We got day 1 on the top and then day 6 on the bottom. So that, and it just takes that much longer, right? I gotta rest 6 times before I get, so I'm just peeking. There's day 10, day 11, day 13. Looks like it goes all the way up to day 13. That's a lot of rest cycles. But if we're going all the way up to level 10, we're going to get there. I mean, I have to rest every time I go out and do something. And we're going all the way up to level 10. I mean, yeah. I think there's definitely going to be some issues there. So, okay, let's regroup. I do think I want to go here and do this, and then go here and do that before I do any new exploring. I still have 2 areas to resolve. The grasslands are definitely dangerous. We fought the boars, which did do some damage to us, but I also played them poorly. Um, so let's keep going, explore everything we currently have revealed before we start revealing new stuff. I'm also taking note right here and here. I can't go here or here. I can only go to here. And I'm presuming that I have to go here to be able to go back this way. This seems to be like some kind of like either a boss's hideout. I mean, it's right next to a city, so I'm assuming this is some kind of bad guy place. Because just look at how hard it's going to be to get there. And then looking at the map further, you got the water here, and then this is probably going to be like some kind of lighthouse or something. I'm willing to bet there's a city there, or maybe a city here, or possibly here, because this is a nice centralized location. Actually, I'm going to take it back. I think a city would be here. I don't think there's going to be one there. We'll see. And then, of course, I'm very curious. I know there's going to be something special here on these two spots. Now, there's a road, right? And so I do think, like I said, I think the road's going to go to here, and that's probably that cart quest, right? That we had. Speaking of which, we could grab a job. I don't know which one I want to grab here. So the tonics and herbs is the cart quest. And then we have Wild Waves, which requires us to be near water, which of course is way over there. I'll do tonics and herbs for now, but we could always just change the quest later. We have to go to Fellsworn Village to start this one. That's the cart one, where we're going to go... we have to find that city, Keepwick Town, which we don't know where it is yet. So, it doesn't do us any good until then. I still think the right mindset is explore these two first. And yeah, I do think that we go to Fellsworn, then right here we hit these two, and my betting is that the town's here. Or we go here and then the road goes this way and there's a town up there. I don't know if there should be two towns across the water from each other like that, but we'll see. Alright, so let's go. We're going to travel road. It is smooth sailing. Then we're going to travel grass, which is the pouch. I am going to turn the pouch over, and then here we go. We're on Big 2. And then let's get this out of here. And it literally just says Sunny Field. 2 massive icebergs. When we flip it over, and I think we looked at this before, we're going to enter this map from the hex, which is up here. So our characters start up here. And then we got an event and a point of interest, and then another map. So I need to pause real quick, go get a drink, and then we'll get started. Okay, I was gone for a very long time. So let's get caught back up. Yeah, so we got the event and the point of interest. I don't think it matters which one we do first. So I just need to move the world map around here to make room. It's always been, let's do the event first. So event 15. So we have ourselves a small iceberg. Something shadowy deep in the iceberg. Looking closely, seems to be a figure trapped inside. Figure's eyes flash open and look directly at you. You realize they're still alive and you can save them. Grabbing your weapon, you begin hacking at the ice. Oh my gosh, it's a foe 11? I gotta do a battle? What the heck? So it's a level 1. There is no miniature. Looks like we got probably armor, I'm guessing, all around. But let's see what it says. You're trying to free somebody from ice. Target this foe as if it occupied the event 15 square. You cannot flee. I mean, when you do the event, I mean, we were supposed to, like, you know, blah, 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 so we're here. Like so. So that's not a thing. We're next to it, so we don't have to worry about that. When you draw a threat card, if it's all foes, then mob or boss, all other cards, none. I don't know what that means. So it means I'm doing 3 hits to 3 different players. That might be what that means. If we remove all the armor cubes before all the hit points are wounded... Oh! I see. So I think that's 3 damage to him. Oh. So we gotta remove all those armor cubes. Jeez Louise. We would flip event 15, which is the event, and place it on big 2. Otherwise, if all hit points are wounded before all armor is removed, then NPC 21 goes to B and flip and place on big 2. I gotta look at the FAQ on this one. Does threat matter? No. Just the type of card. Do I still track combo points? Yes. If a threat card directs me to draw again, yes. Can I shift the target? Can the ranger mark his foe? Yes, the ice is considered a foe and they can mark it. So here's my question. If I have an attack that hits and swipes right, like if I hit here, do I also hit there? That's my question. Like, am I going to hurt the person if I'm doing an attack that swipes right? I hope I don't. So, alright, this is a little on the interesting side. The thing here is that with the ice, it's just a single hit removes it, so, and we can definitely mark it like it says. There's no trap opportunity, so the rogue really doesn't play a factor here. I'm just going to use yellow cubes because I'm out of blue and I'm being lazy. And those are all just the same. And there's a lot of hit points on this thing. So, according to this, if I draw an all foes card, he takes 3 hits. That means that the RNG of these cards is going to be brutal. Absolutely brutal. I think there's 2 of them in there. If I draw 2 of those cards, I mean, he's dead. The boss card, or a mob card, does 1 damage, so that's a little better. But the all foes is just devastating. And I don't, you know... Anyways, here we go. We're shuffled. So now the question is, who's going to start? We really don't take damage, so I don't have to worry about healing, anything like that. Silly things like backstab. You know, you got to go hidden to be able to backstab. The game mechanics they're all there. So yeah, I got this guy frozen in ice and I have to spend an action to go hidden, so I get an extra 20 to my backstab roll. I know it's silly, I'm just attacking ice, but that's what I gotta do. So yeah, that's what I'll do. We'll start with the rogue like we do traditionally. And yeah, for a minor action, I will go hidden. But I'm immediately going to come out of hidden because I'm going to do a backstab next. The backstab costs me 1 mana. so it does cost something. So we'll spend 1 mana, and excuse me, just a refresher. The backstab is a straight down attack. Oh, we got to draw for them first. Right, these we ignore per the FAQ, so that's a good start. All right, let's do the backstab. So I roll 12. Now I get to add, per the backstab, I get to add 20. So I get to do 3 hits. They're armor piercing hits, but don't worry about that because this is just armor. It doesn't apply to here, but I do get to hit 3 in a row. So what I'm going to do, hold on. Sorry, I was contacted by some friends in California, and they're not directly in the line of the fire damage, but I always worry about them. And anyways, I've been interrupted like 12 times in this video. It's crazy. Okay, that 12 plus 20 is 3 hits. So I gotta go from top down according to the pattern. So there's really, just 4 choices. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm assuming if I choose this or this, I'm actually hitting the person, which I don't want to do. So I would take these 3 out like this. It doesn't say that I can hit the person or not. Alright, but that was just 1 swing. So now I got another action. And I can't do... Well, I can do backstab again. I just don't get plus 20 to my roll. And that would let me do 2 more in an up-down motion. Otherwise, if I use the dagger, it's a diagonal motion going this way. And I gotta be careful, because I don't want to, I could, diagonal this one, right? Hit this and that. Yeah, I'll do that. So we're going to do a diagonal attack. It's a standard 212. So I rolled a 2. I'm not going to get enough to get to a 12 with that. So all I do is I just hit 1 space. And it's coming up from the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit that one. Alright, so we got rid of 4 pieces of ice. Next up will be the mage. Alright, so it is the resolve thing. I'm going to choose to discard and draw again. I don't want to do the plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. So we got a boss, which is a single hit. So he has 1 hit on him. Alright, next we go to the mage. Well, the mage, I need to line up for, if I want to do a lightning bolt, that is a nice one because it hits 2 spaces in whatever direction I'm angling at. So if I'm angling this way, it would be 2 spaces like this, or I can angle this way, and it could be 2 spaces like that. So I'm going to try to do this way, because there's a lot more cubes in that direction. Although, let me look at the other attack angles everybody else has. Everybody does the up and down. So I'm actually going to do this way. So I'm going to come here and go that way. And, should I really be doing lightning bolt? If I don't do lightning bolt, then I'm doing this, which is the direction I'm looking at, right? It's a hit with a to the right. So the lightning bolt is just 2 hits, which is very similar. It's just the only difference is I don't have to roll a die for the lightning bolt. I'm going to go ahead and do the practice times though, and it doesn't matter where I stand. I could have stayed right where I am. Technically, I'm getting myself a combo point by doing this. And what else? I do have this swirling wind skill. It requires me to shift a foe, which I can't do. This is not a foe that can be shifted per the FAQ. Just looking at something I could possibly unlock. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. And I rolled a 12. Now, technically, I'm supposed to be rolling the blue die, but I rolled a 12, wherever the 12 is. And then it's an intelligence check, so I had 4 to 6. It doesn't matter. I just needed a 12 to hit twice, and it's a this direction kind of thing. And I'm going to go ahead and just do these two. And let's try again. And this time it's an 11 plus the whatevers, right? That gives me 2 more. So I'm going to go ahead and do those 2. All right, so we're down to 5. 4, 5, 6. All right, so now the mage is done. We go to all foes, which is the thing we didn't want. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's horrible. Okay. So now it's to the cleric. I have this here, which you can see is a down, right, and then down some more if he could get over 20. Beyond that, he really doesn't have any other option for attacking. We do have the pummel, which will let him hit one single space, but it costs him a combo point. And we do have a combo point. We also have the stratagem. That's more of a healing thing. So I could do the pummel. Well, let's do the roll. So it's a down over down. I rolled an 18, which is excellent. I had 4 strength. I got over 20. So it's down, over, and then down again. And the best place to apply that is here. So I just hit 2 of them, because I don't want to hit him. And yeah, that's it. So now I got another attack I can do, and I can do like a pummel, which will use up one of these combo points, and I'm going to do that. And I get to pick any spot I would like. So I'm going to pick this one. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm looking at my ranger who's next, and the ranger bow attack is up from the top. So I got from the top and from the top. Alright, so now we're going to draw, and as long as this doesn't say all foes, I should be in good shape. It is mob, which is another hit. So he's down to 1 life left, and we're on the ranger. And I am going to mark this guy. Mark means I get to do an extra hit. And the ranger is going to shoot his bow. And I know I'm standing next to him, but I could just, back up a space, add myself a combo point. You get the whole drill. The point is it's going to boil down to my dice rolls here. There's a 13. With my bow, I just needed a 12, and I hit 2 this way. So I'm going to hit these 2. And without even rolling again, I'm going to spend a mana point to use my mark to apply another hit. And then boom. With just 1 health left, we save this guy. And man, oh man, it really boils down to the luck of your cards. Like, what was the next one? Like, we would have been fine. We would have been fine. Oh my gosh, we had this in the bag. That would have killed him. That one right there. So 3 more turns we had. But we did it. That was really close. A lot closer than I thought it was going to be. And then this doesn't refresh unless I... Actually, it refreshes at the end of the battle. So we're fine there. He's just 1 mana less. Okay, we saved the guy. So... we got to get the card out here. So we have both of these cards. The question becomes, which one do we resolve first? This was the one, yeah, where we had to do the fighting. Flip event 15, that's this one. Okay, yeah. So what they're saying is this card goes, like that. Actually, exactly like that. And that's it. And there's no reward, at least not yet. Then what do we do with this card? It doesn't say. Oh, this is just a faux card. So, yeah, we just put these away. It is exhausting doing this card indexing. I don't have a better solution other than an app. I have to confess, it is probably the best solution for a board game you can come up with. It has to be a nightmare. I can't imagine the spreadsheets that the designer has to keep all this stuff together. Okay, so we got the NPC 21 revealed. The event card. I think I ended up putting the event card away and I wasn't supposed to. Uh-oh. Oh, what event was that? I was 15. Oh. I just had a brain fart. I put the event card away with the foe, so bear with me. Yeah, I'm having a very distracted, brain dead day. This is the event card. So I was looking for it. We flipped it over. It's right here. So now there's NPC 21 and there's also this point of interest. So let's do the NPC 21 now. So it's somebody called Arydia. She's shivering. Flecks of frost are still in her blue hair. Thank you for freeing me from the ice. Have you seen my friend? I worry she was also attacked. If an elf is in the party, draw key 153. That might be one of our doohickeys. Oh, where's the key? It is scars. So it looks like it's more flavor. I'll let you read. And even more flavor. And now we can get DOS EL2. But there's a lot of distractions. Oh, we don't have an elf. That's right, I took a halfling tracker, not an elven tracker. My apologies, we don't have an elf. So none of this happens. Key 153 goes back, although it's just like all the other situations, it's cool to unlock that here. But unfortunately, that's not ours. We have the halfling, not the elf. I thought I took the elven ranger. My apologies there. Okay, so we got ice, attacked, and then friend is what I'm going to do. I don't know how long I was in there, but thank you for rescuing me. I'm a Slin. I went into some sort of hibernation. Kelsey, my friend, we're heading to Keepwick to meet somebody, but where we were attacked. In exile, he met us just outside of Eastgate, offered to help us on our journey for a squill. Kelsey agreed. He was so nice until the first night. After we made camp here, he attacked. We ran, but I was hit with freezing cold. I couldn't move. I was in the ice. She trails off into silence. Then we have to draw event 16. A lot of card drawing. And then we get an RP as well. I'm going to give an RP to the ranger. Well, I got to get this point of interest out while I have it in front of me. So I will do that. Alright, so this we'll look at in a second, but we keep going down this rabbit hole with this other thing. And it was event 16. I have such a hard time reading that text. Setting off. Determination growing in her eyes. This is not right. I can't stay here any longer. I'm going after the man who did this to Kelsey. I will make him pay for Kelsey's life with his own. It'd be really cool if we could get some NPCs that stay with us through the long haul. She heads to the small campsite and packs a small knapsack. I'm packing light, going on the hunt. Help yourself to anything at the camp. And thank you again for rescuing me. She bows and strides off. Add travel 14 to the bottom of the discard pile, which that I think is going to be probably running into her, and she's in over her head, and we're going to have to save her. Yep, it's Lone Wanderer, and yeah, it's going to reveal NPC 21, which is her. Which is interesting. So she's going to have to be upgraded soon, or otherwise we're going to be in this infinite loop here. Meaning she's going to have to go to, side B or something. But anyways, she's been added to the deck. Oh, and look at that. She goes to side C. Probably because B is when she dies, and then this event is trashed, and then we gain 1 experience, and then trash this card. Oh, event 15 is trashed. There's a lot going on. Okay, let's grab event 15. I don't know where event 15 is. That must be maybe this one. Yes, that one. So that's trashed. We all gain an experience point. Oh, we're at 2 experience points, everybody. So I'm just going to flip 1 to 3. On everybody. Okay, and then NPC 21 needs to go to C. So I got to look at the inactive NPCs, I think. It doesn't look like there is inactive NPCs. Yeah, it goes from 15 to 29. Okay, where did all the inactive NPCs go? Did I screw up? I bet I did. Yeah, I think the inactive NPC, my index cards were just, they were not where they were supposed to be. So 21C, there's even a 21D, but yeah, I just peeked. 21B is if you failed to to rescue her. And this one, of course, so that's the new one. Oh, and we're not supposed to look at it. But while I have it, let's get the old one put away. And yeah, let's get the new one put in. And this is painful. And the cards, sometimes the water parts, and it's exactly where you want it to be. And then there's times when you're painfully trying to separate the cards. It's just, after several hours of doing this, you're exhausted. uh, okay, it's like grinding. Like you play World of Warcraft and you have to grind up 2 levels. That can be exhausting too. This does get trashed. I'm just making sure I did everything. Event. Yep. Yep. Okay. This event is done. Now our trash section is growing. Or banish, right? So these are all the event cards that we've already gone through. Quite a lot. I mean, I'm what, 10 hours into recording here? We're only level 3. This thing goes to level 10. There's got to be a lot of game left. Okay. Last but not least, we got the point of interest. We're standing next to 2 icebergs, slowly melting. Birds are playing in the newly formed puddles. There seems to be a shape just below the surface of the ice. There's an odd sound coming from nearby. Alright, we'll do the birds first, the shape second, and the sound last. We'll do it in that order. Taking baths in newly formed puddles, they look like sparrows and robins. You can barely make out the shadowy form of a dead body completely frozen in the ice. Its hand is protruding from the glacier. That must be the person's friend, Casey or whatever. Something black is dripping out of the hand. At first you think it might be blood, but looking closer it appears to be a small pile of ash in the palm of the hand. We get an RP point, but everybody has one. It's hard sound to pinpoint, a sort of high-pitched whining. You think it's the sound of ice expanding and cracking. And we have another map here to go to. So this point of interest is, from my perspective, a waste of time. And I only say that from the point of perspective of, like, do I leave it out or do I put it away? I think I should just put this away. I don't think I need to keep this one out. Like some of these other things that we have over here, we keep those out because every time we go to a location, those are going to be important. I almost wish, I mean, I don't almost wish, I actually do wish that the designer had, you know, like we got these big boards that keep track of our skills and all this other stuff. I would like a board like that where we can keep track of, at certain locations, there's just certain people you always want to interact with. And, you know, and just, it's a board that you just update, and it's got its thing, and I know we're sort of doing that on our own here, but it's just it gets messy. Okay, medium 6 is next. That was big 2. I always wonder, like, what goes into the numbering of these. Because, you know, sometimes you number them based on the order that you experience them in the game, but this is like way over on the left side of the map. Alright, so medium 6. But maybe that's the next big map that you experience. Medium 6 was definitely the next one on our list here. Small circle of green tents surrounding a smoldering campfire. A light breeze whirls the grass as you approach. Alright, so we got a point of interest 16. And that's it. So it's just some nice flavor. And of course we're all near that one. So let's go to 16. You're standing at a small campsite. There's a few odds and ends scattered here around the campfire. The tent sits to the south, flaps open. I'll do the order, all three in the order that they're listed. There's some rations, a couple bottles. Fill 1 knapsack and 1 potion with markers. 1 time only. So what I'm going to fill... is it an elixir or a potion? That's a good question. I mean, an elixir is a different word than the word potion. Yeah. You check the coals, everything's cold. A few bones laid nearby, picked clean. The cloth tent smells fresh and warm from the midday sun. You walk through the open flaps and there's an SML 9. It is interesting how he uses this tiny little map to represent the indoors of something. I mean, that part's cool. There's a lot cool about this game. You delve into the tents, searching for anything that might be of use. The warmth of tents is stifling, having been sitting out in the noonday sun. So, this would... I mean, so it would sit like that. And you can see there's key 15, and then there's path. Okay, so let's do key 15 first. So key 15 is the research journal. Belonged to someone named Kelsey, which we know who that is. She was part of a research project, something to do with family crests. Keep this in the party inventory until you find a card with the exact text, any news of Kelsey. Then draw event 27. Well, crap, the any news of Kelsey was the point of interest 18 that we just had. Oh, not 18, whatever that other point of interest was. Where the heck did it go? The glacier thing. Oh. Large iceberg. Point of interest 14. Okay, now I'm wondering, is this the new NPC 21 thing? Yeah, it's NPC 21. So I know we're not supposed to look at her, but... like, why would I do any news of Kelsey? So... the only reason I'm looking, because you might be wondering, hey, don't look at something unless you're told to. I just feel like we just discovered Kelsey. She's dead. So why would it, unless there's somebody that is like trying to get news about Kelsey, and we experience them later, I just feel like I'm going to be walking around the whole game with this, and then I already had what I needed to unlock it, and I put it away. Because remember, I just went through this big dialogue about how I don't need to keep that point of interest out because it doesn't look like it has anything interesting on it. And then that might be the one spot where, I got the news of Kelsey. So, anyways, we got a key. I think that the any news of Kelsey thing, in my mind, is probably, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to run into somebody who's looking for her. Maybe part of the research project. Who knows? I am going to check one more thing here. Okay, I peeked at the event you're supposed to get when you see the any news of Kelsey, and there is a particular character that you run into that does ask about her, and I don't believe we've found that character yet. I might be wrong, but I don't believe we had. Although it sounds like the East Gate, which we've been to, might be where I need to go. And that's the part I'm going to have to look at. Like, when we get to Eastgate again, maybe I'm going to have to get everything out and make sure I have all the things. Because there's, if I remember correctly, there was just a halfling there. But, see here, this is a, we get a path treasure. So that's a good news for us. um, when I was doing the ISS Vanguard series, there was, and that used an app. The app had spots where the you would read the text, and it would give you this reward. It would give you this reward. It's just like this, where you have to do all these things, right? And sometimes it takes you. You got to get out an index box, and it takes you a minute and a half to do the first step, and then you got to come and do the next step, which only takes you 2 seconds, and then the third step takes another minute and a half. So you get all these things, and what I ended up making a mistake of is the app actually had a scroll bar, so the text continued, and I only read what was on my screen. I didn't realize there was a scroll bar, so I never scrolled down, and there was like more instructions. And then I ended up like getting later in the game, and I was completely lost. Like, how did this happen? Why? And like I'm missing important cards that was necessary for the progression of the game, and it was a nightmare situation for me, and I'm just paranoid about that now. So that's why in this one I'm like, I already know what's happening to Kelsey. So that's why I took that pause. So accept my apologies there. But yes, we get to do a path thing, which is this again. And so starting with the ranger, as you can see, we now have just 3 items that are remaining. So what's the best way to roll for these? I guess we're going to go 1 through 6, and then anything above 18 we roll again. So I rolled an 18, so it's the 3rd item. We got ourselves a new quiver. The quiver has 2 charges on it with different patterns. So that's what it does. Otherwise, it's identical. It's the new patterns that makes the difference. And here's what's interesting. I actually have both quivers equipped. Why not, right? Just means I can't carry anything else. Alright, that one is done. And now, let me get these out of the way. Yeah, we're down to 3 items. How much you want to bet that he's got more stuff in these boxes that we haven't been asked to open yet? And there's going to be more hidden goodies. Like, this game's going to like explode and become a whole bunch of things that we don't even know yet. That's the part I'm excited about. I love that about Gloomhaven. I am getting a sense that he's doing it with this game, and that's good. I really do applaud that, because if you're playing a game like this that goes on for hours and hours, if you're not getting rewarded or wanting to know what's next, you're going to lose interest fast. And that happened with ISS Vanguard. The missions felt very samey, and then once you started getting your upgraded dice and upgraded characters, there was not much else to be excited about. You just wanted it all to end. Alright. Same deal. 7. So that's the middle one. And that's the one we wanted. We wanted the upgraded trap. So now we potentially have 3 hits we can do with the trap. It's still just 2 items, but much, much nicer. So I'm just replacing the old trap with the new, and then putting the old trap in the inventory so we could sell it later. And then there's 2 items left for later. Alright, so next up would be blue. Same deal. Rolled a 7, it's the middle one. We got the upgraded ledger with that particular thing. And see this? Key 48. That's the thing. You got to pay attention to your stuff. So a couple of things to do here. The upgraded ledger, um, it's not any different. Like the other ledger gave you 1 mana, this one only gives you 1 mana. So from that perspective, it's the same. And you can even see. I guess you could have both ledgers equipped. I have a health potion thing equipped instead, but I could equip like, both ledgers so that way I'm getting 2 sets of mana. But for now, I'm not going to do that. I am going to use key 48 though. I got to take care of that before I forget. More indexing. I am definitely taking a break after this video. Alright. Place the glyph token on a ledger with the... That's this. So this ledger equipped. Place the glyph on any mastered Path of Arcana skill that is an action. When you use that skill, exhaust the glyph to gain its benefit, then resolve your skill normally. On rest or by spending a... So it's a reaction. Oh, when you use that skill, exhaust the glyph to gain its benefit. Which I'm assuming is you get mana. Because the glyph is on the ledger. Oh, that's why the ledger is better. You would gain a mana. So I put this on like my Chain Lightning spell. And then when I cast a Chain Lightning spell that costs 2 mana, I can exhaust this glyph and get 1 of those mana back. And then on the nighttime I get to refresh it, or by spending the cube from the ledger. So the ledger technically isn't the... It just refreshes the glyph. Fair enough. Can I move the glyph token? Yes, out of combat. How do I exhaust it? Just flip it over. Fair enough. If I unequip the ledger, the glyph returns to the ledger. And yeah, you want to keep this card in her stack of cards to explain those rules. So yeah, right now I would put this on the Lightning Bolt spell, because that's the one I use the most. Also costs 2 mana to do. It's the only spell I have that actually costs mana. And then, last but not least, I need to get the Path of Light. We have 3 items here. Looks like some armor updates. Rolled a 9, it's the middle one, so we get a nice armor update there. So now this is interesting. Yeah, the old one just has, you can put 2 wear tokens on it, but it only blocks 1. And now it's upgraded to, it blocks 2. So, definitely better armor. Okay, yeah, that's good. Now, one of the things I was talking about is, I have a completely sealed box called Box LG2. So we haven't even like ripped the plastic off of it yet. Do not open until directed. I think there's potentially more class boxes in there. Potentially. I mean, he's definitely got some goodies waiting to be unlocked there. And I would swear there's another box I haven't opened. Yeah, there's a box LG1 I also haven't opened, which is more vertical, like this, but I can easily see in here another world map. So see how we have that world map there? We're going to explore that whole area, and then we're going to get another world map here. I could easily see that happening. So it's almost like there's an Act 1, and this would be Act 2. So let's see how good I am at designing board games to know if I figured out what he's doing. yeah, that's it. So we healed up, and now we gotta decide what we're gonna do. We didn't really take any damage. Um, we might have spent some mana, but that's okay. I am gonna go to this next location and explore. And let me check the time. We're at an hour and 20, so I'll stop here and we'll do that in the next video. Um, just a quick announcement. I am proposing a design of a board game. It would be my first. And I'm not going to reveal any details yet. But for copyright reasons and stuff like that, I want to make sure, that I get an opportunity to do my pitch without, you know, anybody taking credit for my ideas. But fingers crossed. I don't know if I have the time to make a board game, but it sounds like it'd be fun. I've been toying with multiple ideas, and one of them I think is going to I'm going to actually make a YouTube video to pitch it. So fingers crossed. The particular publisher, I absolutely love them. So we'll see. We'll see. It all depends on what they are looking for and whether or not that lines up. Anyways, thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome.